Hey, everybody. This is Damon Sugamelli, and my co-host, Mike Bloxam, is back.
Howdy.
Hello. Brian
I'm
Greene
back.
is not with us. He is not up to it.
He is feeling ill.
He is feeling ill. But we also got MJ Cogburn. We are all
Hello.
back. Hello. We are talking about Quantum Leap Season 2, Episode 4, The Lonely Hearts Club. The original air date, October 25th, 2023. Ben leaps into the body of an ambitious Hollywood assistant whose famous client, Neil Russell, is in danger. As Ben realizes that Neil's circumstances may shed light on his own, his working relationship with Addison reaches an inflection point. That's a weird... I have not heard inflection point anywhere.
Inflection point.
I was
Exclamation point.
Looking up at that then. Yeah. We have our usual cast: Raymond Lee as Dr. Ben Song, Caitlin Bassett as Addison Augustine, Mason Alexander Park as Ian Wright, Nanrissa Lee as Jen Chu, Peter Gaudio, was that it again? Is that what Brian said last week?
Yeah,
as
that's
Tom
what Brian
Westfall.
said last week.
Yeah, Tom Westfall and Ernie Hudson as Magic. We do not have Hannah back this week. But our guest starring Tim Matheson as Neil Russell. And Mike was not quite aware of who he was until beforehand. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Alice Kremmelberg, is that how you say her name? As Rachel. We got her back from season 1. And Erica Gempel as Laura Evans. This episode was written by Kristy Lowrey, directed by MJ Bassett. Our leap date was April 4th, 2000. And Ben has leaped into Summer Walsh.
Yep.
So, first impressions, guys. I guess, Mike, you want to take it?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, overall, I enjoyed the episode. It felt like more of a leap-centric episode this time, which was nice. We got the story of the people that that Ben is there to help. I found the parallels they were trying to make with Ben and Addison's relationship a little bit forced, if we can put it that way. And that's been the focus of the last 3 episodes, though, is what's happening between Ben and Addison. And I don't know. I just hope it's resolved soon, because that's not what the show should be or needs to be about. So
I
yeah,
agree.
I'm hoping by the end of the next episode we'll have that put to bed, and if we can move on with quantum leaping and not what feels like feels like a daytime drama.
Yeah.
But other than that,
Quantum Leap is not a soap opera.
Yes,
it is not a soap opera. It's not supposed to be a soap opera, but it has turned into a soap opera.
Unless he leaps into a soap opera star, yes.
Right.
Right.
All right.
Good Lord.
Yeah. Well, MJ, you said you did kind of like this one, so.
Well, it had the right feeling to it, per se. And the feel good really wasn't a feel good moment. It was just the emotional aspect of the episode between Neil Russell and his ex-wife when they were trying to get back together, and everything that he was trying to do to put his marriage back together with her was emotional. And for some reason, whenever I see a man actually crying on the screen and there's that emotional give, it hits home with me. Because usually men don't cry. That's what they show in normal shows. Men don't cry. Unless it's really bad, men don't cry. And that that was the part that really got to me. I loved some of the things that were said throughout the episode, and I wrote a couple of them down. But I did have a few issues, but I'll bring those up later.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll
be nice.
Well, I mean, what I'll say is I have watched it again since the first time. Maybe it's just because I've been so exhausted and so had a bit of a stressful week with a lot of stuff. Ahmad and I have been just so busy. So, and I think I'm a little bit jaded from what seems like a tired trope of will they, won't they. So it's like it seemed like this whole episode revolved around Ben and Addison, and I know the parallels are there, and so I know there were good things about this episode. I wish that I wanted to like it more. And after watching it again, I'm thinking back on it, I did enjoy it. I think it's because I felt like there's a lot going on back and forth between the project and the leap. We've talked about that, how sometimes the balance doesn't seem right. To me, I don't know. Again, we're throwing in Tom there. I don't know how I feel about Tom's character.
Between Tom's character and this new aspect of Ziggy's chip and something else happening in the background, I really see that it could be Evil Leaper-esque, because her code is being uploaded into somebody else. And even his Ian's girlfriend said, well, they would only get the AI.
Yeah. Only.
Not
if
like
you only get the AI, you get Ziggy. You get the whole thing.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's not like Ben's out there. They're going to get any information about time travel. I'm like, well, yeah.
Yeah.
So she's like, yeah, like you lied to me about that, and yeah, because it's like we basically saw her. They were when they introduced her. What was it? Family Style, I think, season 1. When they were basically broken up. So I'm like, oh, okay, they're back together. But I guess now I don't know if they got back together, and now are they together? I don't.
He's working for a secret government project. Wouldn't he have the right to reserve? Not telling her that they'd found their leaper again.
I would think so. I would think
she kind of got angry too quickly about it, but maybe that's her personality. But I don't know enough about the character to know whether that's.
I understand her being angry that he was lying about it, but it wasn't really that he lied. He oppressed it.
Yeah.
It was. It wasn't an act of.
No.
I'm looking for the right word.
Omission.
Thank you. That's what I was trying to get to, but I couldn't find the word. I knew what I wanted.
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna say. I mean, I do like I do like the story behind it, and it's some other I think like the Quantum Leap podcast, and like in the other, like some people were saying this is like a rom-com, the romantic comedy thing, and I see it. There was a little bit of humor to it. There were funny moments, like seeing Ben walking in the high heels, like the way he was walking. It was like
that. Every time they had Sam leap into high heels, he had a misstep. Or, at first he had a misstep. There was never once a misstep. He just walked like a man.
Was like, but he was like, I mean, even Amato was like laughing about it, like, oh wow, look at this. He's like, look at the way he's walking. It's just That was, I think, like every time he did it, I was just like laughing, like, yeah, this is funny. And then he's just all the things that they're trying to do, come up with, like stealing the tuxedo, and then they keep getting detained by security or whatever. It's just like
Oh,
I got
the
it. It
other
was funny.
funny moment for Ben was when he goes,
Wait, what was
do you
that
remember?
from? When was he?
So Neil Russell is saying, yeah, I need to sweep her off her feet and bring her flowers and win her back. And Ben goes, oh.
Oh, because he...
yeah. Okay.
And of
Okay,
course,
yeah.
Addison's going, no. But
Yeah,
he's over there. Let's win her back. Sure.
Yeah.
I think that was supposed to have been some of the bleed through from the EP, maybe.
Right.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Well, I guess
do we want to talk about?
Oh, I was just going to say, I think Tim Matheson's acting held the story.
Oh, yeah.
Like he's the reason the episode's a success. On the whole.
Yeah. Most definitely.
Yeah. So wait, we were saying this beforehand. Yeah, we were saying this beforehand. Mike has never seen Animal House. Tim Matheson was Otter in Animal House with our favorite bartender, Bruce McGill.
Yeah.
Right.
He was in that too.
Hey, Eric Stratton, Rush Chairman. Damn glad to meet you. D-Day! Hi, Eric Stratton, Rush Chairman. Damn glad to meet you. Hi, that was Eric Stratton, Rush Chairman. He was damn glad to meet you.
I think I'm gonna put it in. There was like a scene there where like Bruce McGill is doing the little thing with his like the in that movie.
I mean, find it now.
Yeah. Tim Matheson's done a lot of different stuff.
It's funny.
Yeah. I know he's been around forever. He's done so many things. I mean, like comedies, like just dramatic stuff. I feel like I saw Erica Gimple before too. I've seen her in something. I just can't place it.
Yeah, she was familiar to me too. But when I looked up her IMDb, I hadn't seen anything. But
I'd have to look. Like Deborah Pratt. I did too.
Yeah, me too. Yep,
She's like, is that Deborah Pratt? I'm like, no.
No,
it's like,
that's not Deborah Pratt.
Is it young Deborah Pratt somehow?
Yeah.
She did look like her though.
Yeah. I do see it. Do we want to talk about Tom a little bit?
That's where I was going to go.
Okay.
Actually, I thought it was interesting that they had Tom Westphal as the senior official at the Pentagon's Defense Innovation Unit to get Project Quantum Leap back on its feet. And he's there to audit.
And everybody's groaning. Like, well, it requires paperwork.
So he's the paperwork guy for the leap.
Yeah. And
from
just
now
looking
on.
at all like the little crossing off all the
dotting the I's and crossing the T's.
I's, yeah. So he noticed that energy spike thing, which I guess that's what is that what Ian did? Was put this chip in? That's what this big thing is. Okay.
Well, he said that the energy spikes were larger now than they were 3 years ago. So, is it the chip that he put in, or was the chip put in way before he got in? Before he leaped, I'm saying.
Yeah,
so we don't know.
So maybe it's been there all along.
Well, I think I missed some stuff, but didn't he say something about? Didn't Ian say when they were talking to Jen about that he snuck in or something when they got shut down and they put in that chip or something to help look for Ben? I'm having a hard time following it, to be honest.
I thought that was the previous sleep.
I think it's just I thought it was during the 3 years that Ben was gone, and that's why I don't know.
Hold on.
Well, Ian
I
said he
probably
left
have to
me
one
look at my
terminal
notes.
on, looking in. I think it was in Ben and Teller. He had one computer terminal on, just searching for Ben. He said it was what did he say? It was a 1 in 1 trillion chance or something of finding him.
something like that. Yeah.
But Jen didn't believe him. She said, "No, you've been doing something else. Like, there's no way you found him just by being one terminal." So,
Right.
I don't think this answers it. I think it's connected, but I don't think it's the answer.
I'm not sure.
Ian
But I don't know,
tells
because
Jen
we don't have all
that there's.
the details yet.
He tells her there's a security breach and it transmits data every time Ben leaps, and she tells him to build a firewall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's transmitting to her boss, and do we ever even know what she does exactly? I don't even know if they said that the first time we
No,
saw her.
Rachel?
I don't
Yeah.
know.
I
I'd
don't
have
know.
to go back and
I
look.
got the impression she was in tech, but evidently it looks like they're into microprocessors or
Possibly.
something to that effect. I'm just
I
looking
don't
at my
know.
old notes too.
I don't have
Well,
from that one.
well, we were talking about Tom, and we kind of got off track a little
Oh
bit.
yeah.
So what? I mean, I don't know.
Because
what
he
do you guys
noticed
think
the,
about him?
I think
don't
that
know.
he is very soft-spoken. He is.
Yeah.
I would have thought that Addison would fall for someone more like Ben, who is outgoing and, kind of forceful maybe, but not really. And he seems to be laid back, soft-spoken, and
I got the impression, though, that
feeling
Ben
like
was
he's
more,
powerless.
he was portrayed at the start anyhow as being more reserved and not outgoing, because at their engagement party he didn't really want to speak, right?
That's true. He wanted to avoid people.
Yeah.
That's true.
He was a bit more of
He's an introvert.
Introvert, yes, thank you.
Right.
At least he was. Leaping has changed that for him a bit, but
right.
But yeah, Tom isn't really the type that I agree that I would have seen.
And
Addison
he was married before.
getting together with, but
yeah, we found that out that his wife died. His first wife.
That was a new piece of information. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm I don't know. People are theorizing on like the Facebook things, like they don't trust him, and I mean I don't know about that. I don't really see an ulterior motive with him, but at the same time, and it kind of like you said, there's something about the way he's talking that just like, I guess it's that soft spoken, like he was like really articulating every word that he says sometimes, like just I don't know. It was just a weird way. Yeah. I didn't bring it up that he was. I didn't realize who he was, but Brian said that he saw Once Upon a Time in Wonderland. He played, I think his name was Cyrus in that show. I don't know if you guys were familiar with either of the main show or that. I think, but I don't think I remembered him all that well. I kind of remember him, and maybe I don't know. I'm thinking at the time, if I don't remember him all that as well compared to everybody else, then maybe he just didn't impress me too much. I don't know. I don't want to say anything negative about him, but I don't know where they're going with his character. It kind of feels like this is manufactured drama. I think we kind of said that before. Like, I don't know why they're doing this whole thing. So
I think that they have to build it up, because for the first season they were together, fiance, and then suddenly Ben feels attacked and left in the past. And they had to bring it to they had to bring it to the climax, so that relationship to a climax, so that he can move on.
Right. I thought they did that in the last episode, though. To me, it felt like they in
They
closer
did.
encounters.
They did, but there was never that I'm done moment. Ben had to have that I'm done moment.
That's true.
And he does have
Okay,
it at
sure.
the end of this episode.
Right. Yeah.
When
he
he
has still been
says,
holding out hope that
I'm done.
right.
You can't be my observer anymore.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was it was
I think he
I'm
pretty
breaking up with
intense.
you and you're fired.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will
We're
say
done.
that was pretty. It was pretty intense, and that was for some reason. I also, I mean, we generally always say that they're like acting is great, and just for whatever reason, like her, it wasn't doing it so much for me in this episode, but like that moment where she's like talking about like like what I did. When they were going to shut down the project, I tried.
I did this.
Jump.
I did that.
I tried to jump in the accelerator in the hopes that I could find you.
Right.
It's like it's easy for you to say that you would have waited when you're not the one waiting. I'm like,
yeah.
That was the one moment where I really felt her like acting. Up until then, it feels like almost like they weren't sure that they were on board with what was given to them to act. I don't know. That's where I'm coming from. I'm wondering if they're like, sometimes you can tell that actors just not phoning it in, but that sometimes they're not liking what's in the script.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what's going on, but it's just like they all of a sudden now they have to do this, but I did feel it then when they had that moment. It was really intense between them. And there were a few times I'm like, whoa, Ben is really like letting her have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it took hearing Laura telling Neil, you have to move on. That
right.
really finally got to Ben to finally figure out, oh, I screwed up.
Right.
So
yeah. So was it?
I think that was the moment.
Yeah. So was it actually? You think that he was going to? Because the reason why Ben was there was to prevent him from dying, basically, or they found him adrift on his boat when he was on his way to do the Tonight Show.
Well, they found his boat the next day, but they didn't find his body for.
They didn't find him. Yeah.
So they assumed that he committed suicide.
Yeah.
So do we think that that's what he actually was going to do, is commit suicide and just jump off the...
Yeah, I think so.
Because it did seem like that at the end.
Yeah. Because he got those returned letters from his daughter, and I think, or maybe also the wedding invitation, and
yeah, and that was his
when he was when he was
done
rejected
moment.
Yeah, he's like, when he realized he had no choice or no chance with any of his family. Yeah.
And he felt like a washed up actor who his best days were behind him.
Yeah.
What was the name of the show? Awfully Good Together?
Yes.
The long
yeah.
Wait, what?
No, the show that he was the show that he was supposed to be on, the old sitcom that Neil Russell
from 15 years prior.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
I didn't catch that one.
Awful Good Together, yeah.
Awfully Good Together.
Yeah.
I thought there were some really good quotes in there, though. To weep is to make less of the depth of grief. That was a good quote.
Yeah.
And life is meant to be lived.
Which one?
To weep is to make less the depth of grief. It sounds Shakespearean.
It does, yeah. You should look that up.
What else, MJ? You had the other quotes that you were saying that were...
life is meant to be lived.
Yeah.
One thing I liked was the it was also the closing of the previous episode where he leaps in and he's saying all this stuff about we go in, kill everybody or whatever. And then that's how the episode starts. It's a very classic
one in the head and one in the chest.
Fake out, right? Where you leap in and then it turns out it's a completely different scenario.
Yeah.
I like how they pulled that off. It was good.
Yeah, that
it
was yeah. And then
They did a
we
good
pull away and
job
we
with that.
yeah,
And then you hear,
yeah.
cut. What?
Yeah.
Wait, was that was it just that he was doing that for because he was Ben was supposed to be his assistant, right? So was he actually like on set, or was it just like he was like acting out something that he did? I think
He was
I think
acting
that's
out a
what it
scene
was.
that he did.
Yeah, and then you see all the what was the thing that Ben was trying to chase when he lost? Was it when he lost Neil and then he's running and he's like looking at the Roman gladiators or something like
Yeah.
I need your
Yeah, he asked them for a ride to the gate. Yeah.
That was another funny moment.
Yeah.
What's this?
I love how he was just calling out like he lost a dog. Neil! Neil! Where are you, Neil?
Yeah.
I think it's great that Magic had the idea. You don't just you have to
the
read
memoir.
between the lines in the memoir
yeah.
to find the necessary information. And Ian's like, well, couldn't we just have Ziggy read it? No.
Yeah.
Ziggy wouldn't read between the lines.
Exactly.
So that's why you read.
Yes, Ernie
Memoir.
Hudson decided memoir. It had to be very French. Memoir.
I was like, did he really say it like that? Like, what?
Well, he said it twice. Yeah.
Memoir.
Yeah, he did.
You don't just read a memoir. You have to read the lines between the lines in a memoir.
And the stealing of the tuxedo and Ben not thinking, it's 2000, right? In the Leap. Silent alarms.
Yeah,
right. Break into a place to steal a tuxedo. Okay. Of course the police are going to come and put you in handcuffs. It was interesting that only Neil got put in handcuffs and he wasn't.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, and then so Ben had to relay that story about what was it? What was he saying? Basically,
he said the governor's daughter had a party with him last week, and you wouldn't want to. Addison's like, he doesn't have a daughter. Work with me. And he goes on and tricks the police officer into letting him go so that he can do the same for your daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll come and do
Dressed up as the
something for
circus
just
master
your daughter.
from some invented movie. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess going back, I did want to bring that up. How I guess when him and Magic were talking about they name checked Sam Beckett again. I think when Sam Beckett and Ben both leave, I wish that if they were going to keep name checking Sam, at least do something with that. I feel like why are you going to keep throwing that bone when we're probably never going to see him again? I hope we do, but
yeah.
Well, they have to keep bringing Sam Beckett's name back in because the show's Quantum Leap. He was the main character for 5 seasons. Ben's only been there for 2 years. 2 seasons. So if they don't, then what's the point of having Ben Leap if you don't keep bringing up the original person who is still trapped in time somewhere?
Yeah, I know.
Well, it's interesting
Even though it
that
seems like sorry,
I was going to say it's interesting they brought up the idea of it being a one-way trip, though.
Yeah, that's where I was going.
Despite Sam having coded a retrieval program, and they continued to attempt to improve the retrieval program through the series originally. I don't know if it's been mentioned in this series. When
Ben retrieval, no.
Yeah, I'm struggling to recall in season 1 if it was ever brought up.
I don't think so. I don't think they ever brought up a retrieval.
Because he leaped early as well, right? He leaped kind of on his own, of course, because he realized he was trying to save Addison. But
they were supposed to be years away from testing.
yes,
and then
that's right.
And then he got that magic code.
Right.
Like magically, everything worked because it's actually from like 30 years in the future.
Right.
Because future Ian. Meanwhile, in 2018, apparently, or no, in the original timeline, Addison was going to leap in 2022 anyway. So I don't.
Yeah.
That's confusing anyway. But the whole timeline thing. But yeah, that's where I was going. Was I did find that interesting that Tom suggested that maybe the nature of what was the exact.
He said, what if the engine of Quantum Leap is sacrifice? What if sacrifice is the price to pay for change? For 30 years, we assumed that the technology was broken, but what if it was? But what if it has to be a one-way trip?
Yeah. So I did find that interesting. I never quite thought of it that way.
Mm-hmm.
If that's where they're going with it, I mean, I think I can kind of get around that. I mean, I don't think Sam would ever come home.
I so can. No, I can.
Oh, you can. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I understand the sacrifice that they're bringing up.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. I don't think that that's the whole point, is that you have to sacrifice yourself to save all these people. I mean, they do the same thing in Supernatural, and it bugs the hell out of me. But you shouldn't have to sacrifice yourself to save people.
True.
That's just me.
Yeah.
Now,
but
I can understand bettering people's lives. I get that. But I don't understand why you would have to give up your life and the life of the people that you left behind. I don't get that.
Yeah.
Well, Sam did it because he was under pressure to lose funding, but his driving force was to save his dad
and his brother
and his brother
and his brother.
Yeah.
And Katie, to save his family.
Yeah, to save his family.
His whole family. Because wasn't it that Katie had a horrible relation?
Her first marriage was...
Yeah.
She married an abusive husband.
Abusing.
Yeah.
He was abusing her.
Yeah.
And
then she moved to
he tells her, and she's like,
Hawaii.
Don't marry Chuck. Got it.
Yes.
Right. I mean, but the whole sacrifice thing would kind of fall in line with the final episode, and you had the impression that Sam was sacrificing. Like, he kind of knew, if I do this for Al, I'm probably not coming home. It wasn't really said that way, but he's like, I want to go home, but I can't because I got to do this. So it all falls in place. I think I can I'm kind of on board with that sacrifice thing, like, because you're changing. You can't quite go home again once you do that, because you're affecting all these other things that just is going to make things different for you anyway. So
and Magic kind of points that out too. That he said, I don't think that will stop people from leaping. I think some will go even if it is the cost, because there's something deep down inside of us that makes us want to do better.
Right.
So
yes, I mean, so I'm on board with that. I think. I mean, I don't know how far they're going to go with that idea. If it's just like a one-time thing that they're throwing out there to make us think about, I don't know. I don't have much else notes wise on this. So
I did think it was interesting that he was like, Neil says, I just want to go sailing. I just want to go. And then he drives him not to the dock to go sailing, but to his daughter's house. Yeah. And then he's like, why am I here? And as he is being emotional and hitting those points of, she won't want to talk to me, and Addison's in the background, yes, she will. She'll just slam the door on me. No, she won't.
Yeah.
She was hitting point that same thing that Al would have done.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. I was feeling that with Tim Matheson and just and what he was doing as
He's
Neil.
such a
and just
good
like
actor.
breaking down.
Such
I was
a
like thinking
great
about
actor.
Yeah. I was just thinking about that being a father, and I'm like, oh, man, like I know you want to, you're so afraid of disappointing. Like you don't want your kids to think of you as this. Like, did I do right by them? Yeah, I was feeling that definitely. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The one thing that I think is really kind of interesting is that everybody in the entire complex gets to see Ben and Addison on the screen talking to each other.
Yeah.
But they can see the leap as it's happening.
Yes.
Right there. And as they're fighting between each other, they're just like glued.
So the people who work at Quantum Leap also watch Quantum Leap.
Right.
A good one, Mike.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's a good one.
I think that's in a different episode. I think. Yeah.
What?
I can't talk about that one yet.
Oh, the next one?
I can't talk about it.
Oh, okay. Well, anything else we want to bring up? There was no music. I didn't hear any music this week, right?
Disappointed me. Thank you for mentioning that. There was some harp music. That's it.
Yeah.
And maybe some score, but it was 2000.
Yeah.
I mean, that was.
They had some great music. They could have used
so much good music. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they had so many opportunities too. They were in the car a lot. They were on set. They were, in restaurants. They were.
Yeah, but they didn't want to mess up that interaction between the characters. They wanted to have the heart feel. That's what they wanted.
Yeah, but you can do that with music from the time, and you can do it unobtrusively. But that's been a disappointment so far this season.
Speaking of disappointment. Ben at the very end says the last two leaps have been brutal and there's no figuring it out, but I have to give up my happy ending.
You can't be my hologram anymore, Addison.
You're fired.
Yeah, you're fired.
And what's interesting is that he actually tells her, you can't be my hologram anymore. Goodbye. And then he leaps.
Yeah.
He was able to say goodbye.
Walked away.
And then he leaps. And there's nothing to show what the next leap is about.
No.
Very frustrating.
I hate it.
They need to quit doing that crap.
They've only done it once so far this season.
I know.
Between 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it just ends on a leap out.
It needs to stop. They need to stop doing it.
I know.
I only did that in the virtual seasons when there was nothing next to do.
Yeah.
When I had a reason to do it.
Yeah,
but normally,
I don't mind it every so often.
I keep it going.
Yeah.
Because that's what the show did.
Yeah.
I mean,
blame
even Quantum Leap had the little mishap once, or I think it was at least once, where they leaped him into a situation and then the next episode had nothing to do with that leap. It was like,
yeah, that was something to do with syndication, though.
Yeah, the
repeats, right?
Stuff. Yeah.
Back in the old days.
I forgot it was just about
the old days.
Just about to say something. I was just about to say something that I forgot. Yeah, I don't mind it when they do it every so often. It's just, or when there's like a really like big impactful ending or something. But Oh, what I was going to say is I blame it on, I think, the time constraints, because it's like now it's like so much less time, and it's like we have to make sure we get it under. I mean, I guess even like an extra minute showing a new leap is going to be like, we don't have the time for this, because it's like right at the end.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate.
I understand that because they have to put in the commercials. I get it.
Right.
Yeah.
But damn it.
I know. I
got to keep it at that 43 minutes or whatever the runtime is.
I've said 43. It from the beginning, like I feel like it's not doing the show any favors putting it on network television.
Yeah,
like modern network television. There's just a certain feel to it that's different, which I think is what a lot of people are having issue with, because it doesn't always feel. There's something about the show that's not quite feeling like the way. Like, I get it now.
That's what I said in season 1 right off the bat, was from the pilot, or not the pilot, what ended up being episode 1, was there was just so much crammed into that episode that really should have been an hour-long premiere. But it was all crammed into that 42, 43 minutes. They were split between
like
trying to introduce the project and
stuff down your throat very quickly. Here, eat this.
Yeah, it would have been better off being on a streaming platform. I 100% agree.
I think that's what I'll address it now. I think that's what I'm feeling sometimes about the acting, is I'm seeing the potential for a lot of stuff, and I feel like sometimes they're not able to give it their full what they could really do, because they have to do it quickly. I think that's what some people's issues are with when they say, well, they don't feel like the acting's all that great, and it's like, I see it, I see it there, but it's just they have to do too much, and it's like we don't have the time to focus on this moment like we could normally, and maybe that's part of the problem. I don't know how they can fix that, but sometimes it's good and sometimes it just falls flat. I don't know. That's how I am. That's where I am.
It also depends on where you are as an individual. If you're not really, like, you were stressed this week, you were having issues when you first saw it, I believe you told us, oh God, I can't do this. I can't do it.
Oh yeah.
And if you're not in the right mindset for a leap this one, it was hard. This one was a hard one. It was emotional and it was kind of shoved in your face.
Yeah.
I still think, though, that because of this chip thing, that it lends it to the evil leaper side. I still kind of feel that. I don't know if they're going to allude to an evil leaper or anything like that. Probably not. They're probably going, whatever. But
I was thinking that this sounds it feels a little like some stuff that we wrote about with outsourcing to other, like other people, like other people getting their hands on this information that they're not supposed to. I don't know if they're going to go the evil leaper route, but maybe somebody else who should not necessarily know about this, and it might give them problems with stuff.
I could see that. Definitely.
Yeah, so knowing more about Rachel's employer would be helpful. He was only just referred to as her boss or her employer. Yeah, no name given. Very mysterious, It seems like this might be the mystery of the season, though, that they're instilling now.
Too bad Brian's not here, because he might be theorizing about it a little more, but do you think this has to do with Hannah and what Ben did?
I don't think so.
You think this is separate?
I think this is totally separate.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't even know. I don't even know when we'll see Hannah, if we're going to see her next time, or I'm definitely the episode afterwards, I think. But I don't know. And then apparently she's we thought that maybe she was like that she'll end up being a time traveler, but they said something. The producer said something like, "Yeah, she's not a time traveler. That she's just going to encounter her." So I don't know how that's going to work.
I don't know how she could. I don't know how she could.
Maybe he leaps into the 40s or 50s again.
But how many times are you going to do that? Like,
I
don't know.
Or into the 70s.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I know we're jumping a little ahead
because
we haven't even seen her yet. So
in 2020, if he knows that he leaped from 2023, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And now the project is in 2026.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
She would be 95 or 96.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, you're not going to see her.
It can't be. No, you won't see her in the present. So I don't know.
Unless a really good makeup artist.
Right?
Well, and you'd have to just get a different actress at that point to play her older. I mean,
this is Hannah.
Sam played his dad. Just saying. Scott played Sam's dad.
Oh yeah, I know.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. And he did a really good job of it too. Did you know that you can thrive on milk?
Yeah.
Not survive.
Not survive, but thrive.
I use that line more frequently than I should.
Before we wrap up, I'll just getting back to the music thing. Mike, I said it last week because you weren't with us. I said,
yeah.
And it was a missed opportunity, and it's not even anachronistic with the time frame, but they should have played "Owner of a Lonely Heart" by Yes.
Oh,
missed opportunity.
Yeah.
You could have heard that playing on like a classic rock station or something.
Exactly.
Nope.
In the car. In the car.
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring that up because you weren't here last week, Mike. So
right.
Anyway, that's about all I can
Lonely
think of.
Cup.
If you guys got anything else, I think we're.
Yeah.
I wonder who's going to be the observer now.
Yeah.
It could be Ian.
I've been wondering
it could be Jen, or it could be Magic, or it could be Tom.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't think it would ever be Tom. No, that would be too awkward. Well,
that would be real. That would be interesting.
Well, the next episode is One Night in Koreatown, which takes place on the day that the 1992 LA riots began. And I know I didn't see the episode, but you caught a glimpse of it in the trailer. You kind of know who the observer is, but I won't say it, Mike. If you don't
trailer.
I
didn't see the trailer, so
okay. So I won't say anything, but it's anyway.
It's one of the four I mentioned.
Oh, okay. Big surprise.
Somebody. I don't know. After that, I wonder if they're gonna. I don't know. I wonder if they'll keep doing like, I don't know, maybe a different observer, and then like by episode 8, maybe we're gonna see Addison again. I don't know. Something's got to happen in the mid-season finale, obviously, even though they haven't shot any episodes beyond that.
Right.
It may be I hope the strike ends soon so they can get back to filming.
Yeah.
Because that would really kind of suck.
Would be helpful.
If they just end, because they're going to end on some big thing probably.
Yep. Of course they are.
Yeah.
It's a mid-season finale. It's got to be a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and probably something a little more impactful than the way it was in the first season, where it's like, "Oh, I leaped to save you," which was we kind of figured that. Remember the first season? That was the mid-season finale. It's like, I leaped to save you, Addison, and we kind of assumed that, and then it just ended like that for like 2 months. I have a feeling it's going to be something bigger than that, but I don't know. Anyway, that is the next episode. One Night in Koreatown. Yeah, I guess we're done with this one. So, were you going to say something else, MJ?
I saw this earlier in the news today about Matthew Perry. Very sad.
Yeah. Matthew Perry died. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Supposedly he drowned in his apartment.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Very, very sad.
Yeah, I just found that
Wow.
out like a half hour before we started this. I'm like, oh wow.
Jeez.
Yeah, I was. We were we were watching
Mhm.
Supernatural, which is why I brought it up.
Oh yeah.
And Matt was looking at his phone, and he said, "Yeah, Matthew Perry died." So
Jeez.
Yeah. Well, rest
54
in
years
peace,
old.
Matthew Perry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very sad.
Yeah. Well. Anyway. All right, guys. So I guess
Sorry,
we're done with this. Oh no,
downer.
that's all right. Well, anyway, so that's our discussion of the Lonely Hearts Club. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons. And hopefully Brian will be back with us next time. I think we have someone else that will join us. So that will, if Brian is back, it's going to be 5 of us. We'll
All
see
right.
how that goes.
Cool.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Maybe
So
next
we'll see how
time
it goes.
I can not be negative.
There's always hope, MJ. There's always hope.
Oh yeah. Maybe I'll just turn off my microphone and hit the mute button or something.
All right.
Brian wanted the other week.
Oh, he teases. It's
I know. He's a good guy.
yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.